Becoming a rapper is one of the most glorified careers in today's day and age. After all, who wouldn't want money, cars, flashy jewelry, access to all the women in the world, and millions of people idolizing you? But what if I told you that was all a lie? Because beneath it all lies something far darker that most fans are unaware of due to it being kept a secret by the industry and those who are in it. However, on some rare occasions, the curtains are lifted, and for a short period, fans get a glimpse of what being a rapper in the industry is really like. And the rappers that expose it get some pretty serious consequences, leading to the question, what's being hidden, why, and what happened to the rappers who exposed it? I'm Rashad Bashir, and this is Rappers Who Exposed the Industry and Got Blackballed. The first artist who exposed the industry and was then blackballed is none other than NBA Youngboy. But before we talk about how he was blackballed, how did he gain any footing in the industry in the first place? NBA Youngboy popped onto the scene in 2015 with his first mixtape, Life Before Fame, and a couple of others like AI Youngboy. A couple years later, in 2018, Youngboy's career skyrocketed after he released his hit, Outside Today. From there, Youngboy went on a rampage in the music industry and became one of the most successful rappers of the decade. Around that time, Youngboy was a classic industry rapper. He was often seen with rappers like 21 Savage, Young Thug, Trippie Redd, Rod Wave, Kevin Gates, Gucci Mane, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, even Lil Pump, and he was even close friends with some of them. But fast forward to 2024, and Youngboy is no longer associated with a single one of those names, not even a bit. And instead, he decided to expose the industry that they all participated in. In an interview where he shared some evil secrets, he explained that at this point, he only cared about money.
Nothing planned.
Nah, I just want to get paid. I don't give a fuck about it.
You said that music, like, in terms of getting paid, it's like the biggest thing and owning all your art.
The interviewer was kind of shocked, so he asked why. It's art, right? Youngboy responded,
Yeah, because Atlanta is the mind industry that I chose to be a part of.
He explained he used to fall for it, like the interviewer, but now understands it's just part of a game.
So it's like I accept that I run with it, but don't be a dominant at the same time.
He then explained he was aware that he was just a pawn, and his time would pass just like the ones before him.
You gotta understand, they use me as entertainment, and it should become self-destruction too. Because I ain't no entertainment. You know, some can be spoke on. Why? But the shit is to be continued.
And then refused to speak on it.
Is in terms of like
Every time it's you know.
What Youngboy had just said shocked fans, as most were kept in the dark about this side of him, and they wondered, how did Youngboy going from being such a large part of the industry to being against it? Well, the story is actually years long, and it began with Youngboy's relationship with Atlantic Records, his record label, who many other rappers have had bad experiences with.
Why is Meek Mill not signed there no more? Why is Kodak Black about to be a free agent? Why did P&B Rock get dropped?
NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy.
You see, when Youngboy signed his deal, he was young. He didn't understand how the music business operated, so he thought he was getting a fair deal. Later, he realized he was making pennies compared to what he was actually earning for the label.
I think as you learn the business, you learn how badly you've been taken advantage of. I ain't never got paid from YouTube a day in my life. Make all the money off my YouTube and then give me a small percentage out my all that slavery, son. But you know, that's what we signed up for business.
So it's safe to say they had completely bamboozled a young boy. He was very happy when he first signed, since he was kept in the dark about a lot of the details. When he signed his $2 million deal, he was so excited that he bought a baby tiger, a G-Wagon, a huge house, and more. But it's hard to really fathom how severely Youngboy was taken advantage of during those years he was with Atlantic Records until you see the numbers behind it all. Atlantic Records had made over $100 million off of Youngboy since he signed. For example, Youngboy is the king of YouTube, earning 9 billion views in just 5 years, and DJ Academics revealed that after running the numbers, here's what it came to. NBA Youngboy's YouTube page generates 292 million views a month, which means that YouTube pays out his label approximately $1.4 million a month. Approximately 16.8 million per year just for his YouTube. Furthermore, since he signed, Youngboy had given Atlantic Records almost 500% of what they asked him output-wise, and they still weren't willing to even give him a little bit of ownership over his music. And it's actually wild when you hear the facts.
Why did Atlantic basically tell Youngboy, listen, after 22 albums that you dropped in a time period where we only contracted you to do 5, hey, we'll negotiate and give you this amount of money, but we ain't giving you all your masters back.
Back then, when Youngboy signed, he didn't have anyone to help him.
These are real things. What does that mean? When YoungBoy started, he's 17, he's 22 now. He don't understand what the going on. He's just putting out music.
He had no idea what he was doing when he was young.
These are things that to a 17-year-old coming in the game, that was like when he got in the games.
But today, he has people in his corner like the morally righteous music mogul known as Birdman. That was a joke, by the way, because I know some of you guys are going to think I'm being serious. Who showed him how much he's been robbed of.
It took a team to be around him. Now he just started, and that's why he loves Birdman so much. Even though, you can say whatever about Birdman. Birdman helped him understand, and his team as well. Bro, you just satisfy, theoretically, you satisfy your contract 4 times. They're eating crazy off of you. Look how much they own your YouTube money. They own this.
To show you how bad YoungBoy was messed over, in another interview, YoungBoy explained that his record deal was basically slavery.
What have you learned about the music business since you got in?
That is slavery.
Why do you say slavery?
Explaining he really should be getting more and got only a small fraction of what he actually made.
We don't get what we deserve. Man, you gotta think about it, bro. Out of this whole, say if you make 300 M's, out of this whole 300 M's, you ain't gonna probably see shit but 20, 30, or probably not even that. You never know. There's always some new pussy you're trying to come in with.
Getting 20 to 30 million out of 300 million, then taxed at a 50% rate, and then ran through because, he's a rapper. It's just highway robbery. So most fans understood when in 2022, the chart-topping rapper turned down $25 million to re-sign. Because although it may sound like a lot, as you just heard, it was nothing compared to what he was making. However, what a lot of fans don't know is that YoungBoy was willing to stay at one point, even after all this mistreatment.
There was a possibility he would have stayed at one point, but they weren't talking the shit he talking. Because labels don't really believe in giving you ownership. They believe in only paying you to own you. Again,
he wanted a partnership, but they wanted to own all of his music, which may have been the reason he referred to himself as a slave.
YoungBoy wanted to partner with Atlantic. He wanted to, hey, listen, we partner, but I own my work. Atlantic said, we'll give you more money. You'll never own your work. Not over here.
And you'd think after this type of treatment, YoungBoy would have trouble staying relevant and keeping up the numbers he was getting. As after all, the promise that labels make you is they'll blow you up and keep you mainstream if you sign with them. In return, they get to own your music. However, it turned out to be the exact opposite. Despite his mistreatment, YoungBoy continued to be wildly successful. He racked up 5 number ones and plenty of platinum certifications. So this doesn't add up, right? An extremely successful musician just being blackballed for no reason. Well, there was a reason, and it was his horrible relationship with the label. He hated them so much, he even made a crazy offer just to get out of his deal, which they denied. Since then, he's dissed Atlantic every time he could, and his feud with Atlantic is so bad that they have even tried to make him fall off without any luck. For example, I was going number 1 2 weeks straight with a mixtape, so they took it down off the charts, laughing emoji. I don't give a you still can't stop me. Don't sign to Atlantic if you're an artist. They're not going to support you, especially if you live a certain way. In fact, what's ironic is YoungBoy's label did everything they could to make him fall off, but it ended up doing the opposite. So after Atlantic Records' multiple failed attempts to throttle the YoungBoy's album release, YoungBoy had this to say, and then decided to take it further by dissing his label on one of his songs, rapping, "Try to block me out, Blackball, but they see me now." So despite all the odds being against him, YoungBoy seemed to have trumped the industry. Keep in mind, this is the first time anything like this has ever really happened on this level as well. Prior to that, YoungBoy just took home his 4th number 1 album with Sincerely Cantrell. This was while he was locked up, by the way, placing him in the company of rap royalty like Tupac and Lil Wayne, the only others to do so. And while this was all happening, YoungBoy himself explained that Atlantic was doing everything they could to mess him over. YoungBoy claimed that Atlantic was trying to sue him, saying, "Everything I post, Atlantic try to make it seem like I'm talking about them so they can try and sue me once I'm gone." And posted to Instagram again saying this, "Don't sign to Atlantic unless you want to be a slave. I repeat, don't." And YoungBoy's fight back against Atlantic only made it worse. His public campaign against Atlantic made tons of young artists not want to sign to the label, and this made them hate him even more. The situation got so bad that they had to get Kodak Black to make an announcement saying he loves Atlantic. So most record labels, or most people, would assume that Atlantic Records would drop YoungBoy after this insane feud. But Atlantic Records was smart. They wouldn't let go of YoungBoy. Instead, they wanted to kick him down as far as possible till he was no longer commercially successful. And to be honest, it may have worked. But before we get into that, here's the strategy. They were going to make sure he wasn't doing well commercially.
If we're Atlantic Records, it makes no sense that we spend and we exhaust every option to send him off the label with a bang, knowing we already control all of his masters. We own it.
Then they were going to lowball him and try and force him to sign another contract that, to put it lightly, wasn't favorable, but it didn't really work.
YoungBoy turned down every deal they sent to him. If he drops an album selling another 150, his leverage is so crazy that they either got to go double in the amount of money they offer him now, or they got to let him walk. It's in their best interest that he don't go too crazy, that he could be humbled and think, hey, let me stay with Atlantic. Atlantic don't want him to be independent. Trust me.
So in 2023, NBA YoungBoy broke the internet when he signed a $60 million deal with Cash Money Records. It sounds like a lot, but if you look at his streams, it's not much. He wanted $100 million from Atlantic if they weren't going to give him ownership. However, this is a partnership, meaning there's a lot more money for him in the long term, as he gets this advance, plus he'll own his music in the future. So it looked like things were going very well for NBA YoungBoy. But then, YoungBoy's collab project with DaBaby sold 30K, and people were confused, wondering, how is this even possible? Because YoungBoy was a commercial monster. 30K are baby numbers for him. So fans and critics began raising their eyebrows.
YoungBoy being a part of anything to sell 30,000 week one looks fishy. I know what he do. And I know what he just finished doing. He just finished beating Drake for the #1 album. Then he was tied. He was close for the next 5 weeks. You know what he do on YouTube. You know what he do. He running numbers up.
They believed it had something to do with Atlantic Records, who, as you just saw, YoungBoy had been dissing, purposely rigged the album so it would get low sales.
They're supposed to get 2.5 million. Because you would assume that this goes. And then YoungBoy just pops up saying, y'all, Atlantic. And now magically, beating Drake, that.
It looks like there's no support there.
Absolutely. No, see, it looked like more than that. It looked like this is stepped on.
However, that wasn't even the end of it. As it turned out, beefing with one of rap's largest labels was only one part of the equation of YoungBoy being blackballed. See, it may have been clear that YoungBoy had stopped participating in industry politics, but more importantly, after YoungBoy stopped participating in the game, other rappers stopped showing him the same love. And it wasn't their fault. In a live stream, DJ Academics explained that rappers in the industry were basically not allowed to show YoungBoy any love.
When Drake dropped, everybody and their mama posted his album. If Thug drops, the whole industry posted. Travis drops, the whole industry posted. YoungBoy dropped, and it was not that many.
However, many fans point out that YoungBoy doesn't mess with that many rappers himself, which is true.
You might say, well, YoungBoy don't with nobody, and that's true.
However, he does collaborate with tons of rappers and even help certain rappers make comebacks, such as the Migos, with their single, and even they don't show him public support, which is honestly just sad.
YoungBoy in the last year has been on collabs with Future, Migos, Nicki Minaj. Did all of them post his album? Did they show the support? I think that YoungBoy was used in a good capacity for other artists when they needed singles.
It was clear YoungBoy was just being exploited.
It kind of shows me how cliquey the industry is. If you're a part of the clique, they basically you out. But if you're not really that cliquey with everybody, they act like and he was rapping.
But to be fair, YoungBoy wasn't making it easy for himself. Besides that, YoungBoy has also been beefing with many notable figures in the industry, the most famous being Lil Durk. Like when he said, "This that Squid Game, O-Block, Pack, get rolled up." This was him talking about the passing of King Von to taunt Lil Durk, and this beef has made the most notable figures in the industry side with Durk, who is a more industry-friendly artist.
And a lot with Durk, you gotta be a certain type of artist to be able to just be in the middle. If you kicking it like your brother,
so in a situation,
stand on that. I feel like
another example is in YoungBoy's song "F the Industry," where he would diss them, including the head honcho himself, Drake, first explaining that all these industry rappers were all B-words for thinking they would be able to gang up and get rid of him, rapping, "Top says F all these guys in the industry, ass people, clicking up and thinking they're gonna finish me," and that when he spoke to Drake, he told him he was on Durk's side, so he couldn't collab with YoungBoy. Talked to Drake over FaceTime, told me he messed with Durk, damn this stuff getting to me. But YoungBoy wouldn't let it get to him, and now they were enemies, saying, "Tell me that like he the shit I'm doing, but he can't do shit with me. Damn, you my enemy." By the way, YoungBoy and Drake have a collaboration from 2021 that hasn't come out, but he didn't just diss Drake and Durk. He also dissed Lil Baby, Gucci Mane, 21 Savage, India Royale, and even dissed Apple Music for promoting his ops. The song went up on YouTube and went crazy almost immediately. See, most artists in YoungBoy's position would be thrown to the curb, but despite all odds, YoungBoy was still on top and continued to defeat the industry. For example, in 2023, he collaborated with Lil Nas X, who actually reached out to him first, and rappers like Tyler, the Creator, have shown him immense support.
Sending love to NBA YoungBoy, man, for real. He's such a sweetheart, dude. Like, we kicked it a few times. Like, that is a sweet person, bro. Like, think he's just evil. Like, no, he's like fun.
Later on, Tyler would feature Youngboy on a song, earning him his first Grammy nomination, and Youngboy and Lil Nas X would debut on the Billboard charts. In 2023, Youngboy was the third most streamed artist behind Drake and Taylor Swift, which is insane, but especially when you take into account that everyone knows who Drake and Taylor Swift is, but no one outside of rap, especially in America, really knows NBA Youngboy like that. However, although 2023 was a good year for him, it was also a year in which he embraced a lot of change. At first, fans were eager to see him return to the spotlight. He was making more public appearances on the internet, and they were pretty excited. However, what they got instead was a completely different version of him.
Stop the violence.
He used to speak like this.
I don't give a fuck if I gave you $1,000, bitch.
Now he speaks like this.
Thank you.
Before that, he glorified violence. Now he didn't. Furthermore, he debuted a new look where he was wearing makeup and lipstick. So fans accused Youngboy of taking part in some sketchy things. I'll let you come to your own conclusions. After he publicly wore makeup and claimed he liked it.
I like painting my face or putting makeup on. Like, I don't know. I like to look in the mirror and see everything black, like my eyes and.
What you mean? Because that picture we seen that was with like the last like.
Yeah, that's 100% real. That's me being myself. That's me. That's, I don't know. I feel comfortable that way. Like,
is that like face paint?
Nah, that's me. I don't know.
Coming from the gravedigger himself, this was pretty shocking. So it made sense that fans were really confused, and they began to think that they were witnessing the fall of NBA Youngboy. Remember, Youngboy was originally locked up for possession of a firearm while on probation. He was running from the cops when he was pulled over, and I guess he was just such a demon that he had to be tracked by K9s, all allegedly, of course.
You be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Just open their mouth and came to what they was, man.
So, with his new soft-spoken voice and new look, his fans had a hard time recognizing him. But it turned out that Youngboy actually had a pretty valid reason for a switch up. He explained that once again, it was due to the industry that had forced him or rewarded him for such behavior. And after a lot of reflection, Youngboy explained that he was trying to right his wrongs, as he had been far too much of a negative influence on the youth. He explained that from the age of 16, he was given millions of dollars from the industry. At the time, he didn't realize how they had trapped him, and when he did, it was too late. In that interview, he reflected on his life quite a bit and said he realized that he had had an incredibly negative influence on the youth, which he visibly regretted.
Look at the shit I spoke about. Look at the shit I put in these people's ears. Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music. How many kids and people have gotten caught or put this shit in their ears and actually hurt someone. And now I'm sitting back like that.
He explained that it changed the way he thought of music completely, and that he was becoming a Mormon, getting married, which is pretty wild considering the fact that he already fathered 11 kids with multiple wives. Well, this would not be a great move in terms of his music career. A good example of what happens when you try and become a peaceful/spiritual rapper is NLE Choppa, who tried to become a spiritual rapper, flopped, his career went down the drain. He then went back to rapping about violence and substances and blew up again. Fans were worried the same would happen to NBA Youngboy. But luckily for fans, Youngboy never tried to take that route, at least musically, and stayed true to his gravedigger roots. That's a joke, by the way. But the fall-off narrative remained, as Youngboy's erratic change in personality may not have made his music more peaceful, but it did have an effect on it. He was rapping completely differently from how he was in the past. For many fans, Youngboy just didn't hit as hard, and his music wasn't doing the same numbers like he was back in the day. And this wasn't just a little bit of outcry from his diehard fans. Everyone was speaking about it. For example, the notorious music critic Joe Budden agreed that Youngboy was trash as well.
You ready to tell the truth about NBA Youngboy? I'm not ready to do this.
What's the truth?
That nigga trash. He's horrible. He is horrible. Damn. He is horrible. He is really, 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 really bad.
As a rapper or a person?
I don't know him as a person.
Oh, okay.
I'm only speaking about music.
Music.
He then explained that he believed Youngboy was never actually doing that well, and that the label had manufactured his career artificially.
He's really, really, really bad. And that thing happened with him where when he was out, the label pushed a button and did some YouTube shit. So then all the little kids had to just come to the gathering and tell you about NBA Youngboy views and how great he is and how awesome he is and how amazing he's doing.
Joe Budden said he'd seen enough and Youngboy had fallen off.
Now that the label's backed up a bit, And now that we done had about 3 or 4 projects while he's been in Utah on house arrest.
Afterwards, his co-host gave him a bunch of reasons for why Youngboy may have been rapping the way he said. Button just said,
I don't care. Like, it's nothing y'all can say this go. Like, niggas bad.
And as bad as his takes are sometimes, although I don't agree with this one, it is a very accurate representation of how the regular listener thinks of Youngboy these days. So at this point, fans began to believe that the reign of terror NBA Youngboy had in the music industry might just be over. But in my opinion, it's not. He's almost too big to fail, and every attempt to bring him down has made him more popular. It's actually crazy. However, I would add that Youngboy has to be careful, because it would be a shame to see him fall the same way he came up, like many before him have. And as you saw so far in the video, almost did as well. The second rapper on this list is YK Osiris. Today, no one really pays much attention to YK. However, what if I told you that may be on purpose? But let's take it all the way back. Back in the day, YK just had a major hit, Worth It, peaking at number 48 on Billboard, and was all over TikTok. On top of that, he was friends with Drake and Lil Baby, who were both at the top of the industry. I mean, Drake still is. He had a lot of potential, and honestly, could have been one of the largest R&B/hip-hop artists in a long time. But instead of putting his head down and grinding, he made some questionable moves against the music industry. YK's smash hit Worth It came out in 2019, and for a little bit he rode the smash hit's popularity. And then all of a sudden things got very, very, very bad, or weird I should say, because YK would go on a spree of social media posts where he exposed the truth about the industry, which is very odd coming from an artist that had just had the success YK had due to the industry. YK would go on Instagram Live speaking about how the music industry was evil, and the only reason he even wanted to be in it was because he was inspired by the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who ironically spoke about how the music industry is evil too, but that's for another video. YK then explained that he sold his soul, meaning he was no longer his own person, and he was told how to dress, think, and make music.
This industry is not what you think it is. Don't let these people fool you, man.
According to him, everything rappers were portraying on social media was false.
I'm gonna give y'all a little background with me, man. Like, my life is not perfect, man. Don't think because I'm on Instagram showing this, showing that, I don't got a perfect life either. And I want you to understand that just because all these rappers show all this money and show all this fame, don't think their life is good. It's not.
Many of their lifestyles were actually fake, including his.
These people are always faking and let you know that this is not what y'all want. Do something that's low-key. Do something that can help you out other than being a target or a flashy.
And it was not something he was proud of.
Because God can take this away from you real quick, and it's not a blessing from God. And I tell people that 24/7, this is the devil's game. It is not. This is not no God's game.
According to him, it was all a trick set up by higher-ups in the industry to make fans glorify their favorite rappers.
This right here is for you to look up to me. This right here for you to look up to me. This right here is for you to look up to me. If I don't wear this, you don't look up to me. If rappers don't do what they do, you won't look up to them.
And that some of the people watching his live were next to be fooled and fall into the trap.
If these people not who they are, you won't look up to them. You won't want to be like them. That's why the game would never end, because there's always somebody want to be like somebody else. These rappers' life is not good. What y'all think it is?
He then explained what it was like to really be a famous rapper.
Stop saying that it's a God blessing. This is not from God.
Saying at this point, he was trying his best to get out, but he was trapped because he needed the money.
And I'll be honest with you, bro. I want to get out this music industry because this is not for me. But I do it because I feed my family.
And told everyone to stay far, far away.
But I don't want to be in this. This is not what God want me to do. God don't want me to do this. But I do it to feed my family. And I want to get out this. I want to get out of the music industry because, yes, you go through pain. You go through this because this is what the devil wants you to go through to destroy yourself.
It was clear YK was having a spiritual crisis. He didn't want any part of the industry, or at least that's what he was saying, and was trying to convince people to not fall for money like he did. And watching this video is honestly sad.
All this money they got, guess what it is? Guess what? It's a game. Don't think these people's life is good, man. Don't think it. Don't think it, man. This right here, I don't care about this thing. I don't care about it. That don't make me. I don't want to be no hypocrite. I don't want to be no hypocrite to y'all though. I don't want to tell y'all don't be in the music game. I'm in the music game, but I'm gonna tell you what's in the music game before you even try to jump in it.
It was really just a warning to all of his fans. And after seeing what had happened to him, not by just hearing his words, I feel like he may have really made an impact, at least a little, for a while.
Because I don't want you to wish for something that you can't even handle. I don't want you to wish that, oh, I want to be just like Osiris, and when I get just like Osiris, I go through all this problem, then you blame me. You see, the people ain't going to tell you that. They ain't going to want to blame. They just going to want you to follow behind them.
He was just clearly disturbed. He kept repeating the same warning over and over again, and it looked like something had spooked him, or else he would not have been saying those things as many times as he did.
They just want you to follow behind them and, get them all the glory. Because to be facts with you, people glory us more than they glory God. People don't glory God no more. People glory rappers and fame. People bow down to all these rappers. People cry for all these rappers, but they won't cry for God. What that tell you though?
He then dropped a song called where he called himself a slave to the industry, saying, "Shackles on my feet, yeah, they won't let me be. Won't you set me free? Break this hold on me." Where he's telling his label to free him because he thinks he's a slave to the industry. But YK didn't just come for the higher ups. He came for all the people who were taking part in the game as well, calling them out for being fake.
You know the fakeness in this. You know the bull crap that's going on in this game. So what I feel like this game, this music, it has come with so many obstacles that you gotta go through. You know what I mean? It comes with so much bull crap you gotta go with. You gotta deal with.
He even admitted he would pretend to be friends with people and knew they would do the same.
I tell people this all the time. You gotta pretend in this game. A lot of people are like, oh, this and that. You have to know how to pretend. You gotta know how to smile. You gotta know how to act like you love somebody when you really don't love them.
And he exposed them in a funny way as well.
A lot of people are like, I love you, you my brother. You don't even know me. But you gotta do that though because it's the game. How your grandma doing? You don't even know my grandma. You know what I mean? But they do that because it's the game.
He went even further, explaining that artists only cared about you if you were hot.
Yeah, y'all saying about this music industry and about all these features, all these big artists y'all look up to. If you not hot and if you ain't booming, if you don't got your name ringing in these streets, niggas don't care about you.
And those same artists that would show him love wouldn't actually tune into his new music.
And niggas be so fake, bro. This is why I don't be fucking with niggas. This is why I don't be friendly. Like, artists have the same line. And then they be like, when you dropping some more music, nigga, you don't give a fuck. Why you care?
So this was all a huge shock to many fans. Many wrote him off as crazy and stopped taking him seriously. A lot of them actually. However, on the flip side, many were actually happy that someone was coming out to speak about these things. You know, the fans that love to theorize. And these clips about YK exposing the industry went ultra viral. In fact, he'd probably continue to come out against the industry. But shortly after this rant or spree, YK Osiris was arrested. He was picked up by the police at his birthday party. Apparently, Osiris's girlfriend confronted him after seeing another woman wearing nothing but a towel on his phone. The outspoken artist said, "I'm gonna out of you." Inside a bathroom, she alleged he and her and showed marks. So fans were like, this is quite the coincidence. YK posted a video exposing the industry, now he's getting arrested. Okay, fans were suspicious, especially after he got released and the charges were dropped. But all of this happening right after he exposed the industry was still fishy.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this shit crazy as hell. YK Osiris just got arrested for assaulting his girlfriend. Now I think it's f***ed up because the boy just got done making a video talking about the music industry.
After that, Osiris became a community laughingstock. Rappers would just befriend him and make fun of him. After Osiris lost the bet to Drake, he had Osiris doing push-ups in Air Drake. 21 Savage would also take part by roasting YK Osiris for his fits. He just couldn't catch a break. Moreover, after all of that, Osiris then claimed the industry was going to get rid of him for good, if you know what I mean.
As soon as you sign that contract and get that money and take that money, you sold your soul. So all that mimic talking about, oh, he sold his soul, she sold his soul. If you sign that contract, and got that money, you sold your soul. Period. Point blank period. As soon as you sign that contract, you sold your soul. When you do that contract, say do all this and do all that, and if you don't do it, you're going to get put on the shelf. You sold your soul.
So why was this so important? What people liked about what YK was saying is that it highlighted an important part of the industry people don't talk about and gloss over quickly, and it hits way harder when it's from an artist that's present in the industry and had pre-saying it. Because if it was coming from someone who's washed up, everyone would just say they're just doing it for clout. And of course, they probably are, to be honest. The reason why people or the industry would have liked him to be silenced is because normally nobodies in their mom's basement are the ones who say these types of things, not the actual artists themselves. But in all seriousness, I do believe that it was just a publicity stunt from Osiris, who had shown he was mentally unstable in the past already. After that, Osiris admitted he had fallen off when a girl told him straight up.
But the girl was like, Oh, the last time you dropped when I was in high school, I graduated already. I graduated college. When she said that, I was like, melodies from heaven, way down.
And today, it's not looking great for him. He's basically hit rock bottom. In 2022, Osiris admitted that he had gone broke after all the success he had. When asked how, Osiris said,
man, I went broke so goddamn quick, man. Like, back then, oh my, like 3 years, like 2.5, not 3 years ago, when Worthy came out, man, I blew that money so goddamn fast.
Osiris even revealed that he had given his mother $250,000, dropped $300,000 on clothing, that's crazy, and would spend hundreds of dollars for each haircut. But he said the most shocking bill came from the IRS.
And by the time you know it, taxes.
Exactly.
I said, because I ain't know like the taxes come out now. They come out during that year. By the time you know my account say, this how much you owe? I said, yeah.
How much did you owe?
I think I owe like 190 or something.
190,000?
Yeah, something like that. But it was crazy. The money went so quick, bro. It like when you don't have it, it's like when you get it, your mindset changed so many things. Like you start buying so much things.
Moral of the story, save your money and be careful who you choose to call out and make enemies. As if we're being honest, nothing even happened for Osiris to come out and say all these things. The final rapper on this list is none other than Lil Skies. But before we get into how Lil Skies was blackballed or even exposed in the industry, how did he even get into the position to do so, right? After dropping out of college to pursue rap, Skies dropped a ton of music and eventually he found his sound, which was the trendy autotune trap sound that dominated 2016 to 18. He had some buzz at the time, but he really exploded when he got Cole Bennett in the mix.
We dropped it, went #1, trended on YouTube, did 1 million views in 24 hours.
Dropping songs like Nowadays on the Lyrical Lemonade channel. And today, Nowadays has almost 400 million views on YouTube, one of Lyrical Lemonade's most popular videos, competing with artists like Eminem, Juice WRLD, and more. In 2018, Skies inked his first multi-million-dollar deal with Atlantic Records. Red Roses, his debut studio album under the label, went ultra viral, getting millions on SoundCloud, and the music video on Lyrical Lemonade has close to 300 million on YouTube. At the time, fans were bewildered by the number of views, asking, "Can someone explain to me how Lil Skies Nowadays featuring Landon Cube got 9 million views in under a week?" He then randomly got a Weekend cosign, so it was clear Skies was going places. In addition to his early SoundCloud/YouTube success, Skies was also producing radio-friendly music, unlike his peers on SoundCloud like Lil Pump and Lil Xan. Think of someone like Lil Uzi Vert. He was dropping hits. Critics loved him, fans loved him, and Skies capitalized. So in 2017, he went on tour with Lil Uzi. Everything was going amazing. He had sold out shows, hit songs, millions of dollars, and in a short 6-month span, Skies passed almost every rapper in his era, other than maybe Juice WRLD and a few others. But years later, he's far below them all in popularity. And today, it's safe to say he's lost it all. But how, why, and what happened? Well, there were many reasons, and one of them was the fact that he tried to expose the industry. In 2018, Skies was chosen to be a part of the XXL freshman list, a highly coveted spot in the rap industry, based on how much it can, or at least could do for an artist's career. However, to everyone's surprise, Skies turned it down. And on April 24th of 2018, Lil Skies took to Instagram to expose XXL, explaining the media was mad and he would be exposing it.
This is mad as shit. It's like, y'all are funny as shit. I'm just listening, like, I'm listening to y'all, niggas. Like, bro, what? Alright, man, so I got something to say. So, y'all asking about XXL, y'all already done seen all that, right? Y'all already done seen everything, da-da-da. I didn't show up, you're right. I did not show up to XXL. I didn't. No.
He explained that XXL was rigged, so he decided he wouldn't be joining it. Wait, what? Why would he say that? XXL isn't rigged, right?
And you know why I did not show up to XXL? For one, I'm going to tell y'all straight up. Because people who see the media, they be trying to make shit seem all bad. And this, that, and the third, and all this shit. Nah, bro. XXL reached out to me months ago, bro. And chose me to be a 2018 XXL freshman.
So he came out to quote-unquote expose them. Guys then went on to say that he was one of the people.
How the fuck do you choose me to be a freshman before the fans even get the vote? That's just not fair, bro. Like, the world didn't get the vote to choose Lil Skies to be a freshman.
And that XXL was rigged.
Regardless, even on the vote poll, when the votes came, when you guys were allowed to vote, I still won. I still got on the list. But even before that, they chose me to be an XXL freshman. Come on now. The list is rigged. I'm not about to be on no... You're not placing me in no category, bro. You can't place me in no category, for one. Like, I don't give a about that shit.
He just cared about the music. Who cares about these silly little blogs, right?
My focus is music and the stage. That's it. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about no XXL magazine. I don't care about no category. I don't care about this, bro. I'm lit forever. The youth, we live forever, bro. Everybody's saying, like, we freshmen for life.
And XXL was just not being fair to other artists, according to him.
Turn up. Lil Skies, I don't be responding to all this, that, and the third, but no, I did not show up. And it's not like no hate towards XXL and all that. It's just no, bro. I'm not like, if you gonna play the game right. I can't be chosen before the people even get to vote. That's just not fair to me.
So he could have earned a lot of fans' respect if this was true. However, it just wasn't. The funny thing is, the industry has a lot of shady tactics, but what Skies was trying to expose isn't one of them. XXL is very transparent with how they select artists. They pick all except one that's voted on by the fans. And yeah, it is a little weird, but it's normal, not a sign of foul play, as they're very transparent about this. More importantly, it was a wild business decision for Skies, as XXL is known for boosting artists' careers like crazy. For example, Genius did a study on rappers who were small and less established and featured on XXL, and saw that they had an average of 50% increase in their popularity. So the XXL freshman list isn't make or break, but it definitely helps. It's free marketing and some of the best you can get. But this wasn't that bad, as not showing up on a XXL freshman list won't destroy your career. And artists such as Gunna have turned down XXL. Juice WRLD missed the cutoff, and they're just fine, right? So the XXL expose may not have ended his career, but it was the first domino to fall. What was far worse was Skies canceling his tour for his debut album, which he said was for health issues. But it didn't matter, as canceling your tour for your debut hit album, is a surefire way to slow down your momentum. But once again, this isn't what ended his career. It was the fact that his music has steadily decreased in popularity ever since his debut album. Unfortunately for fans, what they had just witnessed with Skies was arguably his peak. 1 year after dropping his very successful debut album, Life of Dark Rose, Skies dropped his second album, Shelby, selling 55K, which wasn't bad. And using his close ties to Cole Bennett, he bolstered the lead single, I, which became one of his biggest hits. But although on paper it may have seemed that things were going well, to Skies' fanbase, it wasn't. They said the album wasn't great because it sounded exactly the same as all of his older music. To fans, it felt like Skies didn't grow, and slowly this started to hurt his career. Normally artists try and grow after getting feedback, but rather than try and accept it, Skies fought back and went on a super long rant addressing his lack of evolution, which I'm not even gonna play for you, but hey, maybe it was just a little slump, a sophomore slump. So after that, Skies went ghost and just dropped a couple of loose singles. He'd take 2 years to drop his next album, and once he did, fans were pretty shocked. It sounded the exact same, so listeners and fans were a lot less forgiving, and this time the sales reflected the quality of the album, selling 15K, and it was a major flop. Fans unanimously hated it, saying things like Unbothered was such a disappointing album, the mixes were trash, the beats were whack, and Sky's performance was garbage. The 2-year hiatus didn't help either, but it seemed like there was a valid reason for that. You see, after Skies took so long to drop, fans began asking questions like if there were any label issues. See, Skies may have signed for millions, but once you sign a deal, they now own and control your career, including when you can drop music and what you drop. We don't know the full details, but it's clear according to him that somewhere he signed a bad contract, which he alluded to in an Instagram story, saying, "Y'all be acting like I'm dead just cause I ain't dropped. Relax, it's a lot behind the scenes going on y'all don't know, and I can't speak about it right now. Just know I'm getting through it for y'all, trust my process." This was allegedly about his label not allowing him to drop. When you're hot, they put a big marketing budget behind you and give you huge campaigns to give you the strongest push possible. But when you're cold, they shelve you and don't let you drop to make space for the hot artist. When Skies was coming up, he was that hot artist, but now he was seeing the other side, the ugly side. And years later, he addressed it, saying,
"It was just my situation, everything I was going through. I didn't want to give it to y'all that way and have certain people or companies taking this part and all that. No, I had to get this straight, you feel me? Even from my little man, I owe that to my son. Like, as his dad, I gotta be on top of this business, bro."
So basically, he was saying certain companies, aka his record label, was making him releasing music much more complicated than it had to be. And it makes sense. You can't make so many rash decisions and expect a major label to keep backing you. They're gonna shelve you no matter how successful you were in your prime, as we've seen this multiple times in the past. Which brings us to yet another reason to how Skies got blackballed or just fell off, and that's because he hasn't dropped, and as a result has been losing popularity. Over the past 3 to 4 years, Skies has been beefing with his biggest fans and really his entire fan base, which is very backwards, and it's all because he wasn't dropping as much music as they'd like and as much as he should have. For example, his fan page with a ton of followers said, "You suck, bro, drop songs the people want." Another fan said, "You suck, you changed up, you don't show fans to us like you used to. That fan page pretty much helped you stay relevant," referring to how Skies blocked one of his biggest fan pages just because he got a little annoyed, which is pretty sad, and honestly, Skies should have done better. But he did have some valid reasons to be mad. You see, Skies' music was getting leaked like crazy, and he wasn't happy with it.
For real, stop releasing my shit. Stop ruining the fun. To the fan pages that is leaking my shit, suck my dick and f you, nigga. I'm not playing with none of y'all, bro. On God, y'all is not real fans, bro.
Later, Skies also expressed that he was fighting depression, which all tied into this.
Every day, fighting this depression shit.
And all of these factors didn't help. But to be honest, Skies was still inside, and he hadn't really seen the true consequences of his actions. However, he was about to. Ever since Skies' questionable behavior, his fall off has been sharp. In 2022, Skies was in for a tough reality check.
Pay all this money to just come here and stand like this. Y'all look weird as shit. Turn the f up. You are not too cool to jump. Turn the f up.
Rather than turning up, the fans at Rolling Loud just booed him. Skies was enraged at the Rolling Loud crowd, shouting at them. But it was 2022, years after his prime. Could he really be mad at fans for not turning up to songs that are hot from years ago, or songs that dropped recently that weren't? In my humble opinion, no. It was proof that fans were no longer in touch with Skies, and the industry had pushed him aside. The new generation of fans didn't even know Lil Skies, and Skies isn't very tapped in either. It was definitely a tough pill to swallow for Skies. His music had not stayed relevant, and it just didn't stand the test of time. However, he still had a little window to come back, and he should have taken this as a warning, but instead, he just got worse. As today, he's completely fallen off. Lil Skies had a lot of potential and momentum, but it just never went anywhere. He always had a nice voice and flow. Back then, his sound was fresh. Today, it's stale and basic, kind of obsolete too. Taking a look at Google Trends, it shows pretty clearly that the interest for Skies has dropped off of a cliff after a steady decline since his blow up in 2017 and 2018. He's dropped under 5 million listeners for the first time in years. He's losing tens of thousands of followers per month on Instagram. And like I said earlier, younger fans are not really familiar with Skies. But hey, Skies still has a strong fan base, as his fan pages will harass Instagram rap pages until they post Lil Skies, which is honestly hilarious considering Lil Skies is not pushing crazy numbers and doesn't show love to his own fans. But I think he's okay with where he's at. See you in the next video.